AI isn't coming for design or the entire industry, but it is coming for specific design jobs. And if you think you've got time to figure this out, think again, because in the next 12 months, certain design roles, they're gonna disappear. Not eventually, not in a decade, but this year. The designers who see this shift coming and adapt now are gonna come out ahead. But the ones who don't, they're gonna be scrambling to stay relevant. But here's the good news. AI isn't replacing all designers, it's just replacing tasks. And if you know how to position yourself in this new landscape, you're not just gonna survive, you're gonna thrive. So let me show you which roles are at risk and more importantly, what you need to do right now to stay ahead. When we're talking about the design roles that are most at risk, we have to start out with the production designer. We're talking about execution-only creatives, the type of people who get tasks given to them, like take this design and make 14 variants, or resize this for mobile and tablet, or swap colors and fonts and images across 100 screens. The reason that AI wins and is gonna overtake this role is because it's fantastic at pattern recognition and consistency. That's what it does best. And it requires zero creative judgment to do this type of work. And AI is just faster and cheaper at this, and it's not gonna experience burnout. And so many people in production design roles experience that burnout. So here's the thing. If your value is speed and accuracy alone, AI is gonna beat you every day of the week. Next up, junior design roles. We're talking about pixel pushers, but caveat, notice I'm not saying learning designers or new designers. We're talking about junior design roles. Examples would be people who build screens from existing design systems or follow strict component libraries. They have no ownership of the flows or the decisions to be made over the product. And the reason AI is gonna dominate this role is because design systems are structured data. And AI is great at working with structured data. And AI excels at assembling known components. Take A and B and C and put them over here. Try swapping them around. Give me different variants. Junior output is already somewhat constrained as it is because they're being given tasks and just told to follow orders. So the important nuance here is, again, it doesn't kill learning designers or new designers, but it does kill screen factory roles who just pump out screen after screen, take command, take order like a short order cook, and flop out some pancakes of design. Next up, wireframe-only UX roles. We're talking about the type of roles that require you to build low fidelity flows, boxes, arrows, crisscrosses to denote imagery, to map out user journeys. We're talking about really basic information architecture here. The reason AI is going to replace these roles is because wireframes at their core are just logic. They're not craft. And AI can map flows directly from text-based prompts. Drop something into FigJam or Figma Make. Drop something in the ChatGPT or Claude. Have it diagram and map things out for you. It's so easy for AI to accomplish this. And in my opinion, my experience, stakeholders, they're already skipping the wireframe step anyways. And those that are still doing it are actually just doing it themselves. So if your UX stops at wireframes, you're already way behind. Design ops and redundant design support roles are gonna be a thing of the past. We're talking about the types of design roles that manually update design systems or sync tokens or continuously update documentation because they need to upkeep it. The reason why AI is going to absolutely wipe this off the map is because this is just rules-based maintenance and you can create AI agents to do this type of work. These are predictable updates, and automation loves operation work. And at its very core, if it was nothing else, AI is fantastic at automation. And so again, if you're just doing design ops, upkeeping, documenting, converting something from 1.1 to 1.2, AI's got that in the bag. Lastly, let's talk about the theme customizer or the template designer. Not people who want to design templates for something like a Framer marketplace, but we're talking about people who receive client work and are told, hey, just retheme this template for this specific client, or swap the branding out and edit a few things on this pre-built layout. Make it look like this, but just a little bit different. AI is fantastic at this. It's going to steal this job within the next few months, guaranteed, because style transfer is actually trivial for AI to do. This is not strategic thinking. It's not high level. It's just basic A to B stuff. And clients are actually already self-serving this, and pretty soon they're all going to be capable of self-serving it. Why? Because AI platforms, builders are making it easier than ever to do these types of style transfer tasks. Download a template, run it through AI, get a few things back, make those changes, publish it. It's just too easy. Now, what's the common thread for all of these different design rules? Why are they going to die? Why is AI going to outpace and replace these rules? Well, it's because they share these three traits. Number one, they are repetitive roles with repetitive tasks. Number two, they're all rules-based. There's no high-level strategic or creative thinking here. And lastly, they have low ownership of outcomes. If your job can be fully described in a checklist, AI is either already coming for you, already taking your job and you don't realize it, or it's already learning to do it in the near future. Now, this isn't all doom and gloom. Don't cash in your laptops, run for the hills, escape the creative industry, and become farmers, because there is light at the end of this tunnel. There is awesome things over the horizon. There are a slew of design rules that will never be replaced, in my opinion, can't be replaced by AI, no matter how powerful it gets. Let's talk about a few of those right now. First up is product designers who own the outcomes. This is why they're going to survive, because they help to define problems, not just screens. They're not busy talking about typography or colors or using auto layout or which tool. They're trying to figure out what the problem is and how to solve that problem the best way they know how. Number two, they help to balance business, tech, and user needs, and they make trade-offs. And AI just can't make trade-offs. It can't make compromises. It's trying to do it a linear way, a singular way. Now, that might improve a slight amount in the near future, but it's never going to be able to make human compromises and trade-offs like you are capable of. The second category of designer that will never be replaced is the designer with taste and judgment. Taste isn't data. Taste is this ethereal thing. It lives out there in the design ether, and you can tap into it. You can learn it. You can curate it in yourself. But AI is just never going to be able to have taste. It's just not capable of it, but you are. And judgment is not something that's promptable. Having human nature, human judgment, knowing why this just doesn't feel right. AI can't define why something doesn't feel right. It's always looking at why it doesn't look right, or examples of why other people don't think it's right. But sometimes we have to depend on our judgment on why something doesn't feel right. And lastly, clients pay for confidence, not just deliverables, not just files. And at the end of the day, spitting something into AI and having spit something back to you doesn't give you a lot of confidence. It's that human component of leading, of making strategic decisions with good judgment and good taste that brings that confidence to clients and stakeholders. The third category that won't be replaced are designers who can think in systems. Now, I'm not saying designers who can build systems, because AI can build systems, but we're talking about designers who can think in systems. We're talking about product strategy at a high level, UX architecture, platform level thinking. AI can support these designers, but it cannot replace these designers. And the last category that will never be replaced, and in my opinion, the most important and crucial category that everybody should strive to be in, is designers who can communicate well and lead. And the reason that they're not just going to survive but thrive is because designers who can communicate well and lead help to align clients, align stakeholders, bring teams together. If everybody has AI, then everybody feels like they can just depend on it, then all the ideas are going in potentially multiple different ways. But if you can lead well, communicate clearly, you start to align people along these decisions that you're making. Secondly, these types of people can sell those decisions. They can clearly articulate a vision and its outcomes and why it is a good idea. And lastly, you translate ambiguity into clarity. So much of the creative work is actually just clarifying and trying to clear the fog of ambiguity and bringing it into something that's more clear for everybody to get on board. AI just doesn't run meetings. It's really good at taking notes in meetings, but it's not good at leading those meetings. Not yet anyways. And I don't think it's ever going to get there. It's always going to depend on the human capability to communicate well, lead, align, and cover everything that's needed from that human vantage. So what can designers do right now to secure their future in their industry? Well, there's a couple of actionable steps that you can do and take to make sure that you don't just survive the upcoming AI pandemic, but instead thrive in it. First, stop positioning yourself as fast. AI is going to be faster than you. If you've never read the old American folktale of John Henry trying to beat the steam railroad building machine, just realize he died trying to do that. So if you position yourself as fast, you're going to die in this industry. Second, start owning decisions, not just deliverables. Believe in the decisions you make. Try to figure out what's actually happening underneath the hood. Not just color, not just typography. These are all tools of the trade, but the purpose is to build the car, not just to figure out what color to paint it. At the end of the day, all you are is a car painter. But if you can figure out why this car should exist, what the purpose of it, what the differentiator is, and why people are going to buy it, now you start owning those decisions, and this is going to secure your spot. Number 3, learn how to leverage AI. Learn how to direct AI instead of competing with it. You're not going to win, and if you can't beat them, join them. Bring them on your team. Use AI agents. Use the tools of the trade to get the job done that you are in charge of leading. Next up, build case studies around outcomes instead of screens. We've been doing this for years. This has been common knowledge, but we need to stop just thinking that a good dribble shot is enough to sell us as valuable in the creative industry. Your case studies, your portfolios should be built around outcomes. Did you help a business or a client increase revenue, get more leads, get more traffic? That's actually what matters, because design, the tools that you used, are just part of the process to get you to the outcome. So start speaking about outcomes, not just design or screens. And lastly, start moving upstream, away from pixel pushing, away from task lists, away from redundant, repetitive things, and move towards strategy, systems, and execution. The safest place in design isn't being the best at making things, it's being the one who decides what to make, when to make it, and why to make it. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to stay relevant as a designer, then make sure you hit the bell icon so you get notifications when new videos like this one come out. I'm going to be breaking down how to move upstream in future videos, so stay tuned. We'll see you in the next one.